Alright guys, how's it going? Today we're talking WWE 2K16 as well as a special roster video that I'm going to be run through. Now one thing you'll notice when the roster page loads is that there's no duplicate superstars, so there's only one Triple H, one John Cena and so forth, and I'll explain the reason for that shortly, so don't worry, they're still in there, all will become clear soon. So let's head over to the selection screen, and while we do that you might notice there's a few new match types including hair versus hair, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel as I'll be uploading some concept gameplay of that in the near future. So here we go with the roster from left to right, starting at the very top. We'll have the party starter Adam Rose, one half of the Vaudevillains in Aiden English, Mr. Bad News Barrett, the Lone Wolf of NXT Baron Corbin, the New Day's Big E, representing the corporation Get Ready to Serve Some Hard Time with the Big Boss Man, the Giant known as the Big Show, and actually you'll notice here that we'll have two attires available for him. Now these aren't just attires, these are actual models, so anyone that has two models, instead of a duplicate being shown on the screen, when you actually select them you can use the left bumper or the right bumper, and that'll allow you to switch between models, and then once you do select one you can also select an alternate attire. Following the Big Show we'll have one half of the New Age Outlaws with Billy Gunn, and then one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions with Wesley Blake. Sean Blake, all you have to do to get on the main roster is Bo Leave, it's Bo Dallas, and then we'll have the five-time world champion Booker T, Bray Wyatt, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, Bret the Hitman Hart. And every roster needs a beast, and this is no exception because we'll have the beast incarnate, that is Brock Lesnar. Following Lesnar, we have the surprise addition of one of the most successful tag teams in wrestling history with the former WCW, WWE, ECW and TNA tag team champions. It is one half of the Dudley Boys with Bubba Ray Dudley. Following Bubba, we'll have NXT's very own Bull Dempsey, the Swiss Superman that is Cesaro, the best in the world at what he does, Chris Jericho, Captain Charisma Christian. This guy is definitely not SWAFT, it is Big Cass. Axelmania's running wild with Curtis Axel, and then we'll have the second member of the Dudley Boys. It's time to get the table with Devon. Throw your hands in the air for the leader of the Yes Movement with Daniel Bryan, the greatest stunt double of all time in Damien Sandow, one half of the Primetime Players with Darren Young, Harvard's very own David Otunga, the lunatic fringe that is Dean Ambrose, one half of Los Matadors with Diego, the show stealer Dolph Ziggler, the epically bearded Eric Rowan, the rated R superstar that is Edge, and bada boom, one of the realest guys on the roster, it is Enzo Amore. Then we'll have Fandango. Representing the Acolytes we'll have Farouk, and completing Los Matadors it is Fernando. Then there's the Demon that is Finn Balor, the bizarre Goldust, the one-man rock band that is Heath Slater, and NXT's Hideo Itami. Then of course, you cannot have a game without the legendary Hulk Hogan, who's followed up by the just as patriotic Jack Swagger, and the man with all the snakes, Jake the Snake Roberts. If you need any security, we'll have the greatest security team on earth. It is one half of J&J Security with Jamie Noble, and then speaking of security, how about some APA protection with JBL? Up next, we'll have a double helping of the Usos with both Jimmy and Jay, and then completing the greatest security team on earth, it is Joey Mercury. Of course, you cannot forget the iconic John Cena issuing an open challenge to everyone else on this roster, and then comes the Lucha Dragons with Kalisto, the Authority's very own monster that is Corporate Kane, and one of the hottest superstars in WWE at the moment, it is Kevin Owens. Following Owens, put your hands together and clap for the New Day's Kofi Kingston, and then we'll have one half of the Ascension with Connor. Up next is the bizarre Luke Harper, and the even more bizarre Mrs. Foley's baby boy, Mankind. Then we'll have the world's strongest man in Mark Henry, the $1 Million Man in Ted DiBiase, the superstar that is The Miz, and don't just get hyped, stay hyped for Mojo Rawley. Sticking with NXT, we'll have the second half of the NXT Tag Team Champions with Buddy Murphy, and then there's the man whose first name we forgot, it is Neville. Bow down to King What's Up, it's R-Truth. And look out because the Viper is on the prowl, it's Randy Orton. Completing the New Age Outlaws, it is the D.O.G.G, the Road Dogg Jesse James, and Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. Up next is the People's Champ, the Great One, The Rock, and his cousin, Roman Reigns. Then we'll have former ECW legend Rhino, who's currently on NXT, and the Bulgarian brute that is Rusev. The bottom row starts off with the big guy that is Ryback, Then we'll have Sami Zayn, the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the future, the Diamond of the Authority in Seth Rollins, and then comes Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper himself, Shawn Michaels. Next up is the Celtic Warrior and current Mr. Money in the Bank with Sheamus, and then completing the Vaudevillains we'll have Simon Gotch. Also completing the Lucha Dragons we'll have Sin Cara, and then Mr. McMahon's very own son, the Corporation's Shane McMahon. Next up, don't call him Cody, for it's Stardust, and then we'll have the icon that is Sting, who's followed by the legendary, the leader of the Attitude Era and the cover star of WWE 2K16, one of the biggest stars in wrestling history in Stone Cold Steve Austin. Completing the primetime players we'll have Titus O'Neil, and then it's time for the game that is Triple H. Making his debut in 2K16, it is NXT's very own Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze, and then we'll have one half of Kid and Cesaro with Tyson Kidd. Of course, no roster would be complete without the Phenom that is The Undertaker, and he's followed by the second half of the Ascension with Victor. Next comes Mr. McMahon himself with another member of the Corporation in Viscera, then with a real man's man in William Regal, and the final member of D-Generation X with X-Pac. Also completing the New Day we'll have Xavier Woods, and finally the Long Island IC, that is Zack Ryder. So that is the Superstar section complete. Let us know what you think about that in the comments as we head over to the Divas section where we start with AJ Lee, and you can see AJ has actually got two models. So she's got the current model and then she's got a debut model from NXT, and that is something that I think we'll see in a Daniel Bryan showcase. Up next we'll have NXT's Alexa Bliss, and someone that was supposed to be in 2K15, at least from promos, but never actually made the cut. It is Alicia Fox. Then we'll have the fun-loving Bayley, one half of the Bella Twins in Brie Bella, Cameron, and the daughter of Ric Flair, whose moves were actually seen in the DLC moves pack for 2K15, it is none other than Charlotte. Making a full debut in the game this year after being DLC last year, it is Emma, and then it's All Red Everything with Eva Marie. Going back to the Attitude Era, we'll have the former Women's Champion in Ivory, and one of the greatest divas of all time in Lita. Going back to the current day, we'll have Naomi, and the Queen of Hearts, that is Natalya, along with the second half of the Bella Twins, the current Divas Champion Nikki Bella, and also making her proper debut in this year's game, it is Paige, after she was a Season Pass exclusive last year, so a lot of people actually missed out on her. Following Paige, making her debut in any game, it's Rosa Mendez. Then we'll have the Boss, the Women's Champion of NXT, Sasha Banks, and the True Boss, the Authority's very own Stephanie McMahon. Following Steph, we'll have Summer Rae, and then the bodyguard that is Tamina, along with the Attitude Era's Tori, who's part of D-Generation X, before we end on one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time in Trish Stratus. So there you go, that is my roster for the game. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope there's a lot of people on here that you would like to see in the game. And you know, let us know in the comments if you think it is a realistic roster and it's something that you could see making the game, because I think there is quite a lot of stars on here that will be in the game, especially when it comes to the current day stars in NXT. I think a lot of them will make the cut this year, whereas I think Legends will be more DLC. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. Let us know what you think of the look as well, and the option to switch between models instead of having them all on the main screen. I think it's pretty cool and I'd love to hear your thoughts, so let us know about that in the comments, along with who makes your roster for the game. And make sure to stay tuned to the channel, because we've got the hair versus hair match concept footage coming up, so you'll be able to see who gets shaved bald out of Dolph Ziggler and the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. So stay tuned for that. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll catch you later.